The series contains 11 elements and each term is greater than the previous element by 4. These are all positive integers. So what matters is, suppose the first term is 5, the other terms are going to be 9, 13, and they're going to be 11 terms. So see, as long as the gap is known and the number of terms is known, the standard deviation can be determined. You don't actually have to know the exact terms. Even if this were 35, 39, 43, 11 terms in this series, the standard deviation would be the same, because standard deviation is about what is the difference between the terms. It's not about what the terms are, So let me give you a quick example. The standard deviation is calculated, say for example the terms are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Standard deviation were to be calculated. First of all, the base is calculated, the average is calculated 15, and then difference between average and each term is calculated. So 10, 5, 0, minus 5, minus 10, and then average, and then square, these are squared up, 100, 25, 0, 25, 100. Then their sum is calculated, and then this sum that we determine, square root of this term, let's call it k, the square root of k divided by n minus 1 is the standard deviation. So see, it's not about, even if these are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, even if these were 105, 110, 115, 120, 125, the standard deviation would not change, right? So it's the gap that matters. The terms themselves don't matter. So statement 1 is very much sufficient. Statement 2 talks about only the first element. It doesn't talk about the gap. The gap is important, the number of terms are important. Sorry, the gap is already given, the gap is 4, but it doesn't talk about the number of terms. We need the number of terms. Statement 2 is not sufficient. Some students would choose option C thinking that the first term is needed. This is a trap. The point is that the first term is not needed as long as the gap is known. Gap we know from the question only, the gap is 4 every time. And statement 1 gives us the number of elements, and therefore statement 1 alone is sufficient.